I am Jeff Foxworthy, and welcome to Gamekeeper Podcast. If you want to learn more about farming for wildlife and habitat management, then, buddy, you are in the right place. Join the Gamekeeper crew direct from Mossy Oak Land Enhancement Studio as they discuss the latest wildlife and habitat management practices, news, and, of course, hunting. There's no telling what you'll learn, but I'm going to tell you, I bet it's interesting. Enjoy.
We're live in 3, 2, 1.
All right, Mac. That's a great countdown. We appreciate it. Boy, it's going to be a fun one, I think.
I think so, too.
Yeah, so we got Dudley's finally here.
I'm finally here, I guess.
Lanny.
Where you been, Dudley?
I don't know.
Lanny, we was at that Taylor Swift concert.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mac's over here.
Everybody's kind of dreary-eyed from the turkey season.
It has been a long turkey season. And then when I look at on the guest couch, we've got two renegades sitting here. One of them is from North Alabama. His name is Rip Dickerson. And then from Kentucky, we have Shon Wright.
Yes. All right, in the house.
Both of these gentlemen have Woodhaven shirts on. They have something to do with the game call company Woodhaven. And they're going to teach us about locator calls.
Hoorah.
This is something we've been doing this mastery series.
Yeah.
And we really hadn't hit on the tube call. Cuz kind of got there a little bit with the tube call.
Yeah. But I think just making them gobble.
Yeah. Locating them.
I guess
that's what we call it.
I don't know. I guess, yeah.
We call it locating them.
That makes sense.
And Dudley, this one's kind of handpicked for you.
Okay.
We're trying to get you started. We're trying to help you locate one.
Okay, yeah.
And we got about...
I've located some. I've located some. I just chose to grow more for next year.
He is a conservationist and gamekeeper to the core.
Yeah, he is. Yes, he is. So, look, I got a couple things we need to touch base on here. First, before we get started, they're real quick and easy. Guys, if you hadn't watched The Colonel and the Fox on YouTube, you need to go watch. Have you both of you guys watched it?
Yes, sir.
It's good, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
It really is good. Mac, did Wilkes get to watch it?
He did.
Yeah, that's a great show. So then I ran across something else. Being from Montgomery, Bullock County is kind of deep in my heart.
Yes.
There's a young guy there named Hunter Smith that made a film that's on YouTube. I watched it last night. I was just real impressed with it. It was called, I made a note here, it's called In the Pines, an Alabama Turkey Conservation Story. So you can go to YouTube.
And check that out. That's what you sent. I hadn't watched it.
Yeah,
it's really good.
I loved it.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Very well done. I was just real impressed with that. So, guys, y'all check that out. And, gosh, we have been, we've been doing this mastery series. And we did one on trumpets a few weeks back. Yeah. And I have gotten so many texts and calls and comments about people have become interested in trumpets. And I wanted just to make sure I point out, we had Mike Batty on there.
Yeah.
And but there's a guy named Billy Bice that makes some fantastic trumpet calls. There's Mark Prudhomme, who we've had in here. We got a good story from him. He's incredible on a trumpet. There's a guy named Ricky Paget. And Rob, what's the guy's name from over in the Delta?
Bill Lester.
So there's some trumpet options out there, guys. Yes. Does Woodhaven have a trumpet?
No, sir.
So I think there's these real artsy guys that are building these things, and they're not being mass produced. Yeah. But so that I just wanted to give everybody some more options.
How are you progressing on your trumpet?
Not very good.
Not very good.
but
I mean, he's been doing the water drop every 15 seconds in the office for the whole turkey
seems like
season.
The trumpet made him better on the diaphragm.
I don't know.
Or maybe he sounds so bad on the trumpet that his diaphragm sounds.
That's probably what it is. So I've got this for everybody to listen before we get started. Y'all just give me just a little bit here.
Yes, sir.
So this is a video of a guy named Adam Mills.
We're gonna watch something
running a trumpet real close. So listen to what this sounds like, and then we're gonna play another video of him about 30 yards away, and just listen to the difference. Richie can get that to play. Okay, now, so you hear that.
Yeah, I heard that.
And, To me, it's kind of like,
It's got
okay,
a
it's
little
interesting
bit of a
sound.
little bit of a goosey sound to it.
But listen
Well,
to it.
he did work a cut in there though too.
Yeah.
Listen to it at a distance now. So this is 25 or 30 yards.
Huge difference.
Pretty interesting. And so,
is.
Mike was just trying to point out to me that how the sound is better off at a distance. So to not get down on myself for not.
Yeah,
That would make sense.
out of all the calls I've ever attempted, it does sound the worst, when you're playing it and listening to yourself,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Are you guys messing with trumpets at all?
No, sir, I haven't.
No, but we've had this conversation about how things sound in like we all run mouth calls in the truck, wherever you're going, and sitting in a room or whatever in the shop or something, and then when you get out in the woods and get separated, the sound is different than it is right beside you.
Yes,
A huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just very interesting. So I just thought I'd point that out. 'Cause
No, it makes sense.
yeah, that trumpet sound there, I've heard that hymn before.
Yeah,
I mean,
man,
I've
that
heard
was
her. Yes,
I
sir,
like
that's pretty
that was good stuff right there.
Yeah, that sure was. All right, so look, let's turn our attention. One more thing, blood on the biologic. I wanted to just give a shout out to Bill Duke.
Oh yeah.
Duke killed his first turkey.
On the board. Good
How
for
about
him.
that? Yeah.
I mean, he saved a lot of turkeys.
Yeah, he sure has.
That's a
With
good
his
point,
traps.
Mac.
Good point. He deserves one.
No doubt
He's.
about
I think he's finding all this a little later in life, and I bet you he's going to get. He's going to become a rabid turkey hunter.
Man,
I'm just betting.
you think so?
I do. He's got a twinkle in his eye about it. That's for sure. So, I mean, you can't not get excited about it.
I mean, you know how I am about it. So
By the way, so if you're not going to use your Alabama turkey, can you hand it over to me?
I'm not. What did it mean? I'm not going to use it. The season's not over with yet.
Okay. Well, as long as there's still some time left, if you're going to use it.
There is some time left,
Okay.
isn't there? Yes.
Yeah, there's about 8
Does
days.
it close on the 8th, or is the 8th the last day, or is it the 9th, or how does that work?
We'll need to double check that because we certainly don't want to break any laws.
No,
I think it
absolutely
is
not.
the 8th, though.
It is the 8th.
Hey, it's Alabama. The date is subject to opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're not going to. Yeah. Let's cut that out. There.
Mark that time code.
Yeah, that was Rip.
That was nobody. That was Woodhaven's crew.
Yeah.
My name is Steve Stoltz.
All right, guys. So we're gonna get started. I want to kind of ask the room. What's the craziest thing you've heard a turkey gobble back at? Just, I remember one time I was hunting down in Macon, and there's a mill down there, and I think it's 6:15 every morning.
It's done it down there for sure.
And I would just kind of always depend on that horn.
Shift change. What it is.
Is that what they're doing?
I'm thinking. Yeah. They sure gobble at it though.
They do every morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What about you guys? I'm looking at Shon.
All right. The one that stands out in my mind was it was actually public ground on Peabody property, and it was actually bullfrogs
Oh.
croaking right at daylight. And the first turkey gobbled it at bullfrog croaking. That's the only one I've
cool.
ever heard do it, but I've never forgot it. That's been 20 plus years.
I should have heard that,
But
I hadn't heard
it
that.
sure did.
That's pretty early in the year for bullfrogs too. Aren't they a little later on in the summer?
Well,
I heard them croaking this weekend.
yeah, no.
Is it really?
Yeah,
the
sure it is.
bullfrog.
Yeah,
Boom.
like
Yeah.
say this
Okay.
time of year, the end of April, the last week of turkey season or so, first of May.
I'm not questioning. I'm just asking.
Yes, sir. But
I've also
no,
got-
they was letting her rip that morning. That old turkey sounded off early. Just he just nailed right on that bullfrog. I'll never forget it.
Mac, what about you?
I mean, cows, donkeys, horses.
I'm gonna tell you, donkey's fun to listen to when a turkey gobbling at it.
Yeah.
I mean, all kinds of livestock.
What about you, Dudley?
I wrote a bunch down, but one of them that's interesting at the place I grew up hunting was we were near gravel pits, and so when that big machinery would go in reverse and it would start beeping, they would gobble at that.
Yeah.
Or when the dump bed slams shut. But the funniest is hearing a neighbor ride around on their side by side, and then they stop to try to locate a turkey, and they blow some kind of locator call. And the turkey doesn't gobble, but when they start driving off, the turkey gobbles at the noise of the muffler in the motor.
Yeah. Rip, what about you?
A peacock,
Ah,
a
aye.
live peacock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some on the river down there, but I've never been around one of them.
Round peacocks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the turkeys gobble. I know they do.
Oh yeah.
But
I've heard them gobble at barges. Lots of cool stuff.
Fighter jets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Barge, Lanny. I mean, there's a long river. I'm not giving away anything, but I heard a barge one. And I'll tell you the truth. Y'all may not believe me. This Mac's going to look at me like I'm crazy. But about 7-8 years ago, I had a kidney stone one morning attack right at daylight. And a turkey had started gobbling. And I had kind of turned around the tree and was sitting to him. I was pretty close to him. And a wave of nausea hit me, and it made me throw up, and I was pretty loud throwing up, trying not to be, but I was. And the daggone turkey gobbled.
Oh, that's pretty good now.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Sure did.
That's pretty good.
I still think the craziest sound that I've ever heard a turkey gobble is Dudley yelping at a turkey.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. That is bizarre.
Well, but he's never heard a turkey gobble.
I guess I'm the pin cushion today.
No, it's
Y'all go
okay.
ahead.
A distant shotgun blast to do it a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yes.
You think they wouldn't want nothing to do with that, but
That's on my
I've
list.
heard
here.
it a many a times.
I got one propane tank rolling around in the back of a truck.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bouncy trailers.
Bouncing trailers, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was we were hunting and a guy came in the gate and there was a 5-gallon propane tank in the back of his truck and it boom hit his tailgate.
Yeah.
And we killed the turkey too.
Yeah.
You know how sometimes you can hear one turkey will gobble and another turkey a couple of 100 yards away will gobble at him, and then I just wonder how far that chain sometimes might go. Because I've been in Texas and heard them make a complete circle around you.
Yeah. Yeah. Gobbling, the other one's gobbling.
Hey, I watched a guy in Kentucky weekend before last park on the road. We were in the back end of a field, and he got a bullhorn out like Max got. And hit that siren,
Mm-hmm.
and the turkey gobbled on the river behind us. He got in the truck and drove off. We turned and went right to
There
him.
you go. He must not have heard him.
Yeah.
You ever go across the river and just honk your horn sometimes thinking you're helping out one
Yes.
of those hunters over there?
If I'm running late, I do it a lot.
Hadn't heard this in a while, but I have heard him gobble at a beaver tail slapping.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
I
That's
know
a
that
good one.
a Canada goose.
Yes, sir.
Canada goose.
Yes.
Thunder.
And I had
Thunder.
another.
Thunder's one of the coolest things.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
can
especially in
gobble.
the afternoons.
Yeah, yeah.
I had a coyote.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had that happen this year. That just always amazes me. They gobble up coyote, but
And it did amaze me too. And they seem to gobble at coyotes later in the day, like if you're trying to roost them in the evenings, howling at them, get a gobble.
what else are we missing, Rip?
I don't know. I heard a story last week about one gobbling at a fart in the ground blind.
There you go.
Yeah.
He must have been pretty
Yeah.
close.
He was. I don't know if I believe it or not. But
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Have you ever heard one gobble at a crow?
That's a novel idea. Here we go. All right.
What's that weird bird? A marsh. What were you calling it? We call it a
pileated
pileated
woodpecker.
woodpecker.
Pileated woodpecker,
What do you
yeah.
call it? Indian head?
The Indian
Lord God.
hen.
Lord God.
Indian hen.
Indian hen.
Yeah.
Heard that a lot.
I've never heard it, but I bet a fox. You know how
Oh,
they
yeah.
start squalling at
Squalling.
the end of about this time of year. I'm sure they've gobbled at that.
Has anybody ever had somebody hunting with them that got out and slammed the door, and
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like, and then a turkey gobbles at it?
And you're like, give me
Yes,
five.
Yes, sir.
See these people? When the clock strikes 5, it's not the end. It's just the beginning. They have to do these things. They have to do those things. Enter the all-new LS Tractor MT2 and MT2E, a relentless force of innovation. Redesigned with a new hood and cab built for comfort and visibility, with enhanced lifting capacity to get the job done. Making these people the ones everyone else calls those people. Visit your local LS Tractor dealer today.
Moultrie has pioneered the game management category. Today, Moultrie is one of the best-selling brands of feeders and seeders in the world, and they continue to innovate with new technology that gamekeepers will rely on. Moultrie products are always field-tested and designed for hunters by hunters, combining forward-thinking innovation with time-tested practicality. Moultrie, first in feeders since 1979. All right, so guys, Moultrie is offering our listeners a 15% site-wide discount at MoultrieFeeders.com. Use code Mossy Oak with a capital M, Mossy Oak, at MoultrieFeeders.com and get that 15% discount. Let's turn our focus right here. So teach us about, let's just start at what you guys do. And then I'd love for you to kind of demonstrate in your thought process behind what you're doing. So I guess let's start with a crow call.
I saw this last weekend. We'd went under and actually sat down by accident really close to a roosted turkey. Well, as he began gobbling that morning, I heard crows off in the distance coming, and actually 3 crows, I could see it. I mean, they come in. One of them actually lit on the end of the limb he was sitting on, and the other 2 was just above him and just screaming at him. And every time they would scream, that old turkey would just gobble. But they would... you know, they just don't like them. They aggravate the far out of them and they harm them. And they run a sound a lot like this in here. I'm gonna run it and show you.
Okay.
And they do that like that little growl
Like
there at
growl,
the end,
yeah.
like they're fighting, and
That's right.
all the excitement comes about. And the old turkey just can't hardly stand it. If he's not scared to death from humans, he's going to gobble at that. And especially before season scouting, it's a very, very good tool because the turkeys ain't been scared. Because the biggest thing that scares turkeys and makes them quiet from gobbling is pressure.
Oh yeah.
I mean, people's the worst enemy in the world to turkeys. But
And it's an all-day tool.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Real.
yes, sir.
Day out the door.
If I have to pick one thing, it's going to be a crow call.
Right.
I
Yes,
agree.
sir.
Every time.
It's
Yeah.
that high pitch and it's aggravating.
Yes, sir.
It's got that shock value that is
And
hard to beat.
Yeah, I mean, the first one I hear every morning, I want to gobble. I mean,
Yeah.
as soon as I hear it,
Yeah.
oh, God.
And
I mean,
that-
you really do. It's like, oh, there he
Yeah.
is.
And that little roll at the end, you know,
and
they
that,
just
and that little
it's like-
fighting, yes, sir. And like you said, they'll at daylight or at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Where most people, you know, everybody's favorite in the morning is an owl at daylight, but daylight's about it.
That's
most
about
times.
it.
So that's about it. Where the crow is a versatile, it's all day long call.
Mhm.
They will sure hammer it.
That one sounds good. I like
Yeah, it
that
does.
growl.
Yeah, I
You
love
got
It's
there.
got a little bit more of a ring to it to me than your average crow, which
Yeah.
is what y'all are going for. I
Yes, sir.
assume.
You want the little high pitch. It seems
No, it's high ball. High ball.
that's what they call it at the shop when we was building them. Mike said, you want to make it where to do a high ball. If it'll do a high ball, then it'll do any crow note that you want it to do. And that's true. That is the best way to do it. It's like a duck call.
Yeah.
If it'll do that, then it'll do. I mean, it'll make any sound.
Yeah.
Any sound.
That sounds good.
He sounds really good. And when you say Mike, you're saying Mike Pentecost.
Mike Pentecost,
Yeah.
the actually owner of Woodhaven, and that's why when we was building these calls, putting these calls together at the shop, and him and his son Isaac, they come up with that. They call it that high ball, like a duck high ball, where you do that screaming, and if that reed don't lock up or flutter in that note, then you're able to do any crow sound there is. And every one of these have been personally tested. Every one on the market will run just like that one.
And then you get other crows playing the game with you. They hear that and move in, and it just amps that.
Yes, sir.
That gobbler. It's like he's got a little trigger in him.
Well,
and once you hit him with that high note,
Yeah,
he lets that gobble out.
the party just gets bigger.
Yeah.
And you touched on this, and Mac, we've talked about this. I know we've all talked about it. There's just a strange relationship between turkeys and crows.
Yes.
Like, I didn't even realize they were eating poults.
Oh,
but I
they
mean,
will.
that could definitely add to it. But there's just something about it. I mean, oftentimes in clear cuts, we see crows around turkeys that are struck.
Yes.
And you don't know if they're just sitting up there aggravating shit. I mean, you don't know if they're just aggravating them or what they're doing.
Yeah.
That was a good catch.
Yeah.
And
Well, I've always believed that they could potentially eat a hen's eggs. Find her
Yes,
just
sir.
so they're smart enough to pay attention to
Right.
what she's doing. And I've personally have seen a crow catch baby rabbits. So if they would do that, they would certainly get out of some
They'll
bugs.
kill baby. I've seen them, out in the plowed fields like this time of year. Old Gobbler would be out there with them crows would just dive bombing,
Mm-hmm.
just swoop in there at
Yeah.
him. And I don't know that they would personally could harm a full-grown mature gobbler, but he could sure aggravate the fall out of
It
it.
seems like that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're not. I mean, they're mean. You know,
Yes,
just
sir.
like a raccoon. They're cute, but they're mean.
Yes,
And
sir.
They all got to eat. So
I always get it. Have y'all ever paid attention and noticed sometimes you'd ride around town and you'll see a mockingbird chasing a crow?
Mhm.
And
Oh,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm always like, you go.
Yeah, that's right. Run him on
Get
out
it
of
back
here.
to him.
But yeah,
Yeah.
we've heard Mr. Bill from the kennels say, you know, if you ever want to go on a crow shoot, you probably need to get those little goggles for your dogs because you know they're not nice.
Yeah.
No.
And the other thing is crows are everywhere.
Oh yeah.
No matter where you go in the country, there's crows.
Nobody's hunting much. That's
Yeah,
true.
I mean, from one end to the other.
And it can be a fun hunt if you do it right. And they're talking about crow hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can
Remember
be a
that
lot of
guy
fun.
that used to be on the
Pro
show
staff.
trail?
Yeah, yeah.
Man, he was a
The
crow killing machine.
Crow man or something. I
Crow
can't,
man.
yeah, he was serious about
He
crows.
was eating them too.
Was he
eating
really?
them.
Yeah, he was eating them. I think he was.
Do you know what a gang, a flock of crows is called?
I do, so I'm gonna let somebody else answer that question.
Well, let's. Does anybody else in here know what a flock of?
I'm-
besides Mac over here,
We've all heard this. I
Dudley,
think.
you know,
Yeah, no,
I do not. I do
it's
not.
called a murder.
Murder. That's
A
right.
murder.
Kind of
Murder
Alfred
crows.
Hitchcocky.
Yeah, it is kind of
Yeah,
odd.
yeah.
Really?
One of these days, we're going to do a podcast about all the different names for a bunch of critters.
Groups of things.
Yeah, like buzzards have a really odd name, and rabbits have another name, and
Yeah.
what?
What did he say? Is Rob back?
Yeah, right back. He woke up. So one of the things that we didn't throw out a little while ago was hawks.
Oh, why? How did I miss that
I don't
one?
know. That was on. I had written that one down.
Yeah,
and
no.
I missed it.
Yeah, I learned that from old Joe Champion. Rest in his well, how do I say that? Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest his soul. So
Rest his soul.
I tell you what, the hawk though is a good, but it doesn't seem like it has the volume and carries quite as far as the
yeah,
crow.
I don't think
does.
so either.
Do y'all use a hawk?
Very little on public land. You know, that's
Yeah.
about it. Just searching.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't use it on any of our land.
I know. I mean, I like it when I hear one flying through and making that noise. I don't know how to duplicate it myself. So.
Did y'all bring a call? A hawk call?
There you go. Run it.
Yeah,
That's what I brought you for.
It's a, you know, it's that real high pitched shrill, which to me, the high pitch will come near pulling a gobble before anything else, especially up in Western Kentucky anyway. But
What kind of hawk is this?
this is red-tailed hawk. It's a new one they're coming out with. Well, it's out, but and we've actually working on a new design for this next year to come out with the one that's even more lifelike sound than this one. But it's just a real high shrill
Hey, Dudley,
sound, like afternoon.
turn on Merlin. Let's see what's going on here, if we can.
Oh.
We'll just check him here real quick.
I'm not much on the hawk expert call maker here, but we'll do what we can do.
Is that a wooden call? It looks like
Yes, sir.
laminated
It's
from
a-
here.
It's like
That's a good looking,
Yeah.
Diamond wood looking stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see what this thing sounds like.
It's just your high pitched shrill, you know, like a hawk.
So interesting.
sounds like a
fact.
hawk.
Sounds like a hawk. Like a
What did you say, Lance?
So anytime you see in movies, they'll have a bald eagle or an eagle. The sound they actually put on there is a hawk
yes, sir.
instead of a bald eagle. You ever heard a bald eagle?
I don't think I have.
They don't sound real sexy.
What do they sound like?
It's a weird sound.
It's like I can't do it right now. It's almost like a chuckle.
yeah.
Yeah. What did Merlin say? It was probably too loud.
Merlin
in here.
said negative, Ghost Rider.
It's
Yeah.
too loud in here a little bit. So.
Bobby's the only human known to man that
We don't know
can
how many
trick
hours
the
he
Merlin
spent
out.
with Merlin, but it was a lot.
I bet I could do it.
Kick it on.
We do need to
let's
get
check the
somebody
bubble
with a
club.
trumpet from a distance. We need to
Yeah,
to try that.
Yeah, we should have done it when that thing was playing.
Yeah.
So, all right, what other calls have we got here?
We which is probably one of our biggest locator calls, is our owl hooter.
Oh,
our
who cooks for you?
Our ninja owl.
Ninja.
Ninja owl. Scott Ellis won the world or Grand Nationals with it year before last. So, I mean, it's a very versatile call. Most owl hooters you see come like that without this cup. And when you run one like this, you have to do your hands in a cup formation and open your hands like this. Well, one of our engineers named
Rip in the house.
come up with this design right here where it goes over it. And anybody you stop out there on the road can.
Pretty good sounding owl call.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's the biggest fault people have with this is like all other owl calls, they want to blow hard.
Yeah.
And if you blow hard, you'll stick this because it takes hardly nothing. If you blow hard, it's going to, and you're just going to lock it up.
Yeah.
I mean, you just back out of it.
Scream on
There
it.
it is.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Scream with it.
It'll do it all. It'll laugh.
I love to hear an owl laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, this call, anybody can run it. It's the simplest call on the market, and it's the best sounding.
Did you hear that, Dudley?
It sounds great.
But he said anybody can run it.
Anybody can
Well,
run it.
maybe I need to try it then.
I promise you can run that call.
I've always just used my voice, but that is louder and sharper.
Yeah, it works extremely well. I mean, turkeys super respond to it.
So the whole deal on that thing is when they decided to do it, is I could never get a sound I liked on an owl call, anybody's owl call. And so when they cut me loose on it, I figured out the back pressure on it, and we've got a guy at the shop, Scott Tears, and me and him bounced back and forth on it, working on it, and just come up with the perfect, in my opinion, the perfect distance, the perfect spacing, the holes, the diameters, everything. The back pressure on it's perfect. So you can take anybody and, in 5-10 minutes, they can be getting basic hoots out of it, sound like an owl.
Lana, you need to get one of those.
Yeah, man.
It does sound good.
It does.
Replace your old one.
Hey, if you get the trivia right today, you might get one.
Hey,
Maybe about that.
he's gonna smoke us on this. We've been hearing about this.
Man, I've been waiting on it. Like it's sitting right here.
Yeah.
Mac tried to butter me up out there in the lobby earlier, and I was like, no, it's not happening.
Hey,
man.
Mac's a pro.
Yeah, you
now.
gotta watch. You gotta watch him.
You gotta watch Mac.
He was giving answers to somebody a few weeks ago.
Heck, he was like,
Just
man,
a good doctor.
he said, you can come hunt on my farm with me, man, whatever.
Yeah, no, we know he didn't.
He didn't say that.
Well, so what else in the locator realm are we not thinking about? I can't imagine you got anything else, any other calls.
Yeah, not in the Woodhaven line, but like in the past, on public ground and private ground for me I handle it a little different.
Oh,
What's your thought process? Go explain that.
So, on like where I live, the public ground, it gets pounded, and everybody's got an owl, and everybody's got a crow, and everybody's screaming on all of them. Everybody's beating a box call, or a pot call, and so they hear everything. So I try to find something that's out there that they hear, but that nobody else is doing. And one of those things is, I don't know, you guys may remember this. Mac's not old enough. Is the Nightingale, the quail whistle.
Oh yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
So, I'll use it some. I use a reeded howl or something. Coyote call.
Yeah.
A little bit. I'll use a peacock, that one of those other companies made, back in the day. So, just trying to be different than 90,000 other people that's out there.
Yeah, I can agree with you 1,000% there.
So I've got a question about just locating in general. So how often are y'all locating a turkey? If you get out there and you hear a bird at 6 o'clock one morning, are you going to try to locate that bird earlier using a locating call to give yourself more time on the setup? Are you going to let the woods wake up on their own? Or how do you determine when and how to use, for example, I guess an owl hoot?
So it just depends on what you're hearing as a whole. To me, if the woods are alive, I'm gonna let the woods do it. But if it's just kind of calm and quiet, and you're not hearing a lot of birds and stuff, a lot of whippoorwills and things early, then you're gonna run that owl and see what happens.
Yeah, and that may strike up some more owl activity too.
It does, yeah, it does a lot of times. And then you better run to the first one that gobbles.
How often will you laugh or hoot without a gobble? Like, because growing up, I'd hoot one time. If I didn't hear anything, then I'd just sit down and wait for one to gobble. So how long, I guess, is that cadence of calling until you go try another spot?
It just varies, man. It's just all on the feel. I don't really have a set time. Do you, Shon?
No. Most of that all comes down to your preseason scouting, which, you've got an idea about how many birds is in your area. You'll know if one or two was harvested the first week, and there hopefully should be at least one in there. And you pull up and run your owl hooter the best you can that morning and don't hear nothing. Well, if I know another area on down the road, say a mile further, then I'm going to probably pull out and go on down looking for a turkey to respond. Because, that's the whole thing of the hunt is the gobbling turkeys.
Yeah. Find one that's wanting to play the game.
Instead of just crawl down a ditch and raise up and shoot him or something. I want to call a turkey up. I want him, that's the whole thing to me. It's not just the kill.
No.
It's the hunt. You got to respect the bird. It's.
Well, I know if they're not gobbling, I ain't gonna kill them because they ain't gonna be there.
Yeah, that's the way I am. And this year we've got several acres that we get to hunt up there, and in Kentucky you could still hunt all day.
Mm-hmm.
But it's 3 or 4 of us that take care of this farm, and we made it that we don't hunt past noon.
Yeah.
We let the turkeys rest in the afternoon. And usually they get to go ahead and do their routines and with their hens and strut. The next morning they'll gobble again.
Yeah.
But if you just keep pounding them all day long, they're done.
I wish some of our
they'll gobble
agencies
about
would
middle of
consider
June.
that. Yeah.
So you'll see them. I seen them strutting 4th of July and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. I think that's a great conservation tactic that more people should consider. I know it's kind of controversial because a lot of people can't hunt unless in the afternoon, but I do think it'd be really have a good profound effect on the turkey population.
With the declining in numbers, I think that would be one thing that they should look at.
Yeah. And some states are that way, aren't they? Rob, weren't you in a...
Indiana's that way. Missouri.
Yeah. Missouri just
Missouri
changed to a full day.
Missouri just went back went to full day.
Yeah.
Well,
West Virginia, Pennsylvania,
When
and a lot of
private
duck
land
stuff is that way.
Private land on Missouri.
When Kentucky first started, that's the way ours was. You could just hunt till 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And the next morning, the turkeys gobble again.
That's right.
And then in the last 10 or 15 years, they went hunting all day long. And boy, after the first week, our gobbling activity really drops. But, living there with them in the middle of June toward the end of May, they'll be blowing the leaves back.
Oh, really?
Because they just relax. And, the pressure gets off of them, and they'll go back to gobbling.
We should really consider that.
Lenny, I had to tell you, hunting with you, you've got your phone in your pocket. You're constantly checking Onyx.
Yep. Very variable key features all in those things. It really is. From the compass mode to recent imagery, it really helps you understand where you are spatially, where you're headed, where a turkey is, where he was. It's a heck of a tool to use in the spring woods.
I didn't realize that they're updating these maps every couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'd have never known about that clear cut that you were hunting if I didn't have that recent imagery.
Well, and you could share some waypoints with me.
I could share some points with with you. You're exactly right.
I mean, it has that
It
capability.
does have that sharing capability, which is great. You know, you're wanting to show me where your gobbling turkeys are.
Oh, man. You know, Onyx, it's a great app.
It's a great app.
So guys can go to onyxmaps.com/hunt and use code Mossy Oak to get 20% off.
There you go.
I'm a big fan of Onyx.
I am too.
Are y'all seeing as many turkeys as you used to? What's kind of y'all's read? That's two different. You're North Alabama, you're Kentucky. What's each area like?
So, around me, you get varied reports. Like, I took him to a farm, the second week of the season?
Mm-hmm.
And we sat there on the first bird and heard, I think, 9 different turkeys gobble.
Come on.
But, the places on this private land, so when I kill a bird off of this farm, I don't go back, and I'll kill a bird off of this farm and I don't go back. So it's a little bit skewed, and there's not, there's some little bit of crop land, but most of these farms that I get to hunt there at the house, it's hardwoods and pines and stuff. So there's birds there, but no, it's not anywhere like in the 90s where you might go see a flock of 75, 100 hens,
Mm-hmm.
It's not anything like that anymore. And it seems like, to me now, you're starting to see more 1-to-1 ratio. You know what I mean? The gobblers and the hens are about equal. Like we're seeing a lot more jakes and gobblers really than we are hens. Hens, to be honest with you.
I can say the same for me. Where I grew up hunting in central Mississippi, it seemed like the gobbler numbers are down, but the hen numbers seem to be way down.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What about Kentucky?
Yes, sir. The same. It's the numbers are way down from where they were. Let's just say 10 years ago. I can see a drastic decline. And this is all kind of going to filter in. My son just yesterday harvested a gobbler that had double leg bands and a transmitter on his back.
Oh, wow.
So we called the State Department and met with those people, and they want to get all the numbers and document and everything. And that lady said it was really rare on a gobbler because they don't band a whole lot of gobblers, but their study is mainly on hens. And she said, right now, Shon, this year we banded 100 hens with transmitters on their back. And so far, we're 100 for 100. I said, what? She said, all 100 hens have been busted out of their nest one time. He said, we've already got hens that's on their third setting in Kentucky. And I said, well, how do you know? Because she'll say, well, the transmitter, if it don't move for 2 or 3 days, either somebody killed the bird or something. So they'll go to that area and then see the nest where the hen's at. And she said, the eggs already be busted and everything. But she says, of course, it's a combination, I think, of everything. She said, everybody's saying coons, and they are part of it. But she says possums and skunks eat more eggs than coons. And of course, the coyotes, the foxes, and the bobcats. So it's such a struggle for them to raise on the ground. It's just a really battle. But it's just a combination of a lot more people hunting, a lot better shells, a lot better calls, decoys. There's a lot of turkeys killed every year that used to 20 years ago. People didn't kill those turkeys.
No, that's right.
COVID.
Yeah, no, a lot of people started hunting after COVID. That's
And the fan deal, they kill a lot of old mature gobblers that used to never get killed. They bred the hens where now if they crawl down there with that fan and here comes one running and they kill it.
Yeah.
What about like fields? Do you guys hunt around a lot of ag?
I'll cut you off. Around here, it seems like you don't see turkeys in fields or openings nearly as much as you used to. Is that what you were?
Well,
getting at?
not just that. So like, I'll check their gullet. When I kill a bird just to see. And in the last 3 years, I've probably killed, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 that their gullet would have soybeans in it, Roundup ready soybeans.
Oh, like seed, somebody
like actual
treated.
just planted. Yeah.
We were talking about that on our podcast.
And so I was up in Raymer, Tennessee, hunting a farm up there, and it's about a 4,000 acre guy's got about 4,000 acres he farms, and he's a big turkey hunter. And I asked him about it, and he's like, He said, man, I hadn't seen it. He said, but I'm going to talk to my seed guy. He said, because I'll quit using it. He said, I'll start go back to spraying, or something.
Well, just if guys would go, Dudley, just think back. Mark Thomas was here. Dudley asked the same question to him. Mark Thomas is a really, really smart guy on chemistry.
Yeah, no.
And I think he called that a neonoctid.
Neonic is like a systemic insecticide you would treat seeds with.
But he was, in his opinion, he was saying he didn't think it was enough on there to make. That's what I got from it.
What I gathered was something in the body chemistry and the way those
Encapsulates
modes of actions and things like that.
Okay.
It goes to the fats or it goes straight out their urine, something along the lines of that.
Because we've been worried about that too. We've done a number of podcasts and asked a lot of questions. Mark had an answer that nobody else has seemed to have had, and he doesn't work for a. I don't think he's a
consultant.
Yeah, he doesn't have an agenda there.
Right.
So,
But he's done a lot of studies with chemicals and things over the years.
I think we should write a question mark by all that, though. It's worth continuing to ask.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly wouldn't want one to eat something like that. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little worried. I sent it to our state guy, sent him a picture of it, and I was like, is this bird okay to eat?
Yeah, there's a lot going on out there that turkeys, didn't evolve around that they're exposed to nowadays, and it's important to look at the whole picture. We all want to blame one little thing. A lot of us do.
Yeah,
and we need to look at everything and study everything.
Yeah, but it is
it's a
highly
lot of
localized.
stuff.
It's a lot of stuff, and it's highly localized too. I don't believe what's affecting turkeys 100 miles apart can necessarily be the same thing.
Yeah, I think personally, I think habitat overall is the lowest hole in the bucket, but there are
100%.
so many things out there to consider too.
Yeah.
Gosh, what he said, 100 nesting hens and 100 of them
Were disturbed.
or disturbed or destroyed or whatever that you
She
said.
That's
said
disturbing.
Their first setting, every nest was busted. 100 for 100.
Did she allude to when the date of the first nest was?
No, she did not. But I have a guy that kind of patrols my farm over there, and just day before yesterday, he called me and said, Shon, there's a big old mama hen turkey out here. So when I pulled up, she dropped down, and little turkeys run all under her.
Oh, sunshine.
How about that?
good.
That's in Kentucky.
Yes, sir. They already have baby turkeys, and we still got a week of season left.
Huh.
But I know this year up here, we've had an unusually warm spring. And myself, I saw a gobbler breed a hen February the 10th in Kentucky. I mean, she ran around and run out for them and just laid down.
Didn't you have a report from South Mississippi about a bunch of poults too?
Yeah, there's trail cam photos.
Yeah, I'm
and
seeing photos show up on social.
And then Shon too, it was interesting. Didn't you say a couple of those tagged hens traveled a really, really far distance?
Yeah, she told me last year that they'd banded 100 hens, and some of the turkeys actually never left the 500 acre or 800 acre farm. Well, they had two that they had shot the cannon nets, banned them that morning, and that day they traveled 20 miles.
Gone.
Just
Well, you've always heard
That's like
when
that
they
turkey
go to
you
the.
shot at the dummy
Yes,
line.
sir.
that
You always
time.
hear the adage about them going to the next county. Well, that's pretty
That's
true right there.
She said we actually thought somebody had poached them.
Oh,
And
yeah.
put them in their truck and drove home with, they was in a hurry to get over there because the transmitter was giving the signal.
Yeah.
So when we got over, we come out to the field, and there was a hens that afternoon out there in that field, and it was 20 miles from where they turned her loose that morning.
They said, you can catch me again.
Yeah, just gone.
Steady walking.
Yeah.
To do that.
We may need to get them on the podcast and discuss this
So
more.
where was this lady from?
Sarah, she's from the University of Florida. I've got all her information and stuff at home on those bands that was on that turkey, and I could talk to her because she's very interested in doing studies. She's been up there for 2 years doing studies on capturing the turkeys, and like I say, they mainly study the hens because the numbers just keep falling. They're trying their best, and they're really doing a lot of good work with it.
Well, I think Richie and Rob are headed down to Florida next week for some turkey research stuff. So maybe y'all run into her. What about y'all got hogs up there?
No, sir, I don't.
Y'all so lucky.
No.
There you go. There you go, Richie.
Well, we do.
We think it's having an effect on the hens just because down in the bottoms, everybody that grew up hunting around here in the winters, there would just be just rafts. You've talked about this more than anything, Dudley. Rafts of acorns, and now
Pigs eat every last one of them.
They're not there anymore.
Every beetle larvae, every amphibian. I mean,
Like a
anything
vacuum
that's
cleaner.
any living thing.
Crawdad,
Yeah.
whatever that is.
Seeds,
Snake,
flowers,
They
yeah,
eating
everything.
everything. Yeah.
And that's they don't have much food in January, February, and early March.
Now some of our hardwood bottoms look like they've been plowed under.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we've got them over there too,
Yeah.
and it's that same way.
And you got to think if they run across a turkey nest,
Oh, they're going to
it's
eat.
gone. Yeah.
What you got, Mac?
So I mean, I know we're talking about turkeys, but I'm thinking about
Imagine
the gamekeeping stuff, and I know y'all are both big at taking care of the properties. Are there any tips that y'all have for the folks about that y'all find successful? I mean, I know Shon, your son, killed a really big deer a few years ago, and I know y'all do more than just turkeys and locating them.
Man, don't kill your jakes.
Yeah.
God Almighty, if you want turkeys next year, don't kill your jakes.
But yeah, you
Don't
do.
wipe them out.
Burns are a very effective way to help turkey and deer population as well. The last couple of years, we've had mass crops of acorns, which has been a truly blessed.
Yeah.
And no really severe hard winters. We might get a stretch where it's 4 or 5 days there where she gets really, really cold, but as an average, it's been really mild on us. And you would think it would be better on the turkeys. Some people say, well, they freeze out. They ain't gonna have nothing to eat. I thought, well, man, up in Maine,
Yeah,
Pennsylvania,
they are.
man,
Yeah.
they got more turkeys than they've ever had.
Yeah.
So that can't be an issue there. I don't feel like. But the snow don't be an issue. But
Kentucky seems to be a great state for growing wildlife.
Oh, no
y'all
doubt
kill
about
some
it.
big deer up
Yeah.
there.
They got the
Yeah.
rivers, all those rivers come together.
Yeah, you got
elk in the eastern part of the county.
yeah,
State.
you got elk in the eastern part.
And you got really good bag limits.
Mhm.
1 buck, 2
One buck.
gobblers.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of states need to
that's
consider
got a
that.
lot to
That's
do
got a
with
lot
it.
to do with it. You're exactly right.
Mhm. Good point. Good point.
But we take care of
hear that,
them
Robbie?
year round.
Yeah.
2 gobblers.
We don't break the law, but if they're going to offer it to us, if the property can stand it,
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
that's how that goes. So I'm a proponent of self-regulation.
I know you are.
But if you're not going to shoot yours,
I've got a little time left.
will
That's
you
just
let
all
me
I'm-
know before
I'll be going
the
from
night?
now till it closes.
Did you say that was in Alabama?
Yeah.
All right, let's
You
not.
wanna
We need to cut
Absolutely.
Rich Mike
Absolutely.
off there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The Furminator is the industry's most versatile piece of food plot equipment, allowing plotters to do every step of the process, working the soil, adding seed and soil supplements, and compacting, from start to finish with a single implement. It's hassle-free by design. Set it for the seed size and simply drive the tractor, and the Furminator does the rest. Check it out at thefurminator.com.
Hey guys, Dudley from Gamekeepers here. I want to tell you about the all-new Gunner Dog Bowl. It's designed for home and built for travel. It's customizable, leak-resistant, light on weight, solid on durability, and rust-proof. Like other Gunner products, they're made in Nashville and designed for everywhere.
Nosler's known for their bullets, and now they're making suppressors. Nosler suppressors are made for hunting. Adding a Nosler suppressor to your rifle will make you a quieter, more accurate, and more effective hunter. Protect your hearing and disturb less game with a Nosler suppressor. The time to hunt quiet is now. Learn more at nosler.com.
Mac, these guys have brought their own trivia question.
Oh no!
So the way we're
The
going to
drum
do
roll.
this, if
Can we phone a friend? Can we phone a friend?
if they stump us, then they win a prize.
Okay.
But if we get it, they don't win a prize. So, but one of our lucky listeners that has left a review
Is gonna win.
Has already won a prize. What have they? Who won the prize, Mac?
Jesse Greer won a collection of Woodhaven game calls.
Hey,
Wow.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes, sir. Good deal.
Does Mike know about that?
Well, he does now.
Y'all leave a review. I mean, we we get a little bit of reviews, but not a lot, and it's a good way to win some free stuff.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah, Jesse Greer, you just won some Woodhaven calls. Is that, what did his review say? That was a pretty good review.
It says Bobby needs to talk less and let the.
This is not sending him 2 cents.
Yeah.
Sending him some bottomland too.
No, he's.
Hey, give me his address.
So he left us a really good review and said it was his favorite podcast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Well, good.
How about that?
Good.
Believe somebody's
Chill
listening.
bumps.
Okay, so guys, leave us a review. Got a chance to win a prize. Now, these guys are going to ask us a question, Lanny.
Is this one brought to you by Sheffield too?
Well, you were, thank goodness you were here, Lanny, and we're getting caught and got us right. Richie, would you please take over at this point?
Today's trivia is brought to you by Sheffield Financial. Fuel your Gamekeeper projects with financing for power sports, outdoor power equipment, and trailers. Begin your next conservation adventure at SheffieldFinancial.com.
So, have they financed the wedding yet?
No, not yet.
Have you applied?
I haven't applied. We still got a lot of time. We got a long time till the wedding gets here. So
Hey, have you talked to Harold? I mean, I know he can hook you up with Sheffield.
Yeah.
he is, and we talked to Harold a lot about Sheffield. And Sheffield, we need to hook Sheffield up with some of these trumpet manufacturers.
Yeah.
Have you seen the
Yeah,
prices?
they're
on
pretty
trumpets?
high.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know, I asked Mark Prudhomme about 10 years ago to build me one, and he's like, yeah. And I said, just let me know what I owe you. And he said, it'd be I think it was $300, something like that. And he said, it might be a year. I said, or maybe 5.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I don't know. Just
Yeah.
take your time, man.
I'm gonna
Take
give you
your time.
20 a year for
Yeah.
15 years.
They're like artists. This
Oh, well,
man,
they-
this Billy
they are,
Bice,
Really
his
is.
are
It is.
beautiful.
They are
It is
artists,
yes.
artistry for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
All right,
let's-
here we go.
let's-
I'm nervous.
Let's
All
get
right.
focused. Mac, you're in this.
Rob,
Richie.
tune in here. You might help us out here,
Yeah.
buddy.
All right. And Rip, don't embarrass us now.
You said you liked those crow calls, didn't you?
Now, those crow calls are nice.
Well, guess what? They're going back to Alabama.
All right.
Unless you get this right.
Okay. I like a challenge.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right.
You know,
There you go. All right, it's a moment of truth.
Oh, man, he's putting stuff on the table, making me nervous.
All right.
I'll,
Now, Dudley, don't just blurt
Yeah,
out
hold
something
up. We
real
need
quick.
we need to meet about this before we answer.
Yeah. Dudley,
I want all cell phones on the table.
Oh,
All right,
God.
all right. You
Nope.
You can't cheat.
you can't ask Mr. Google.
Yeah, you can't cheat here.
my flip phone is closed.
All right.
cover up
So
your
here-
your Apple Watch.
The first one is actually easy.
Oh, we got more than one.
What county in Alabama holds the record for the heaviest turkey according to the NWTF?
Mr. Alabama.
For some reason, I want to say Claiborne, but I'm not sure.
All right,
I don't
let's-
have any.
Let's think this through. Alabama, I would think it would be one of the northern counties, right?
Yeah.
Because you get around Kentucky and stuff. That's where all the big turkeys are.
It seems like Austin's turkeys are always bigger.
But you got to
than
go
ours.
through Tennessee to get to Kentucky from
I
Alabama.
know
Dudley.
that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
So
know
we're talking
that.
about Alabama.
That Mac. He's sharp.
Yeah.
No,
Nothing gets by math.
There's big
know what?
turkeys in the mountains of Tennessee.
It is Lauderdale County.
Golly darn.
Because I can tell you what, when we had deer step up there, when we had that
There were
leased,
some big turkeys.
it
Now,
was
you need to
killed
get-
on deer step.
You need to give me an assist because I'm the one that put you.
Yeah,
on.
you did. Yeah, you
That's
did.
exactly right.
I'll,
Thank you.
Hey.
this one's been pre-tested by anybody.
Yes.
All right.
I'll give you this one if you want.
Yeah, that
Deer-
turkey came off a deer step.
It did.
Sure did.
There you go.
A little over 26 pounds.
Jeez.
All right, we
I
got
got, I got the assist at least.
we got
Okay.
Good questions, Real.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one is going off Austin Delano. How old was Austin when he killed his first turkey?
Oh man.
Austin Delano works for Biologic.
Yes, he
He's
does.
if you go to the website or go to Instagram, you probably see Austin on there from time to time.
Lifting weights.
He's like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
When he started working with us, he had to jump around in the shower to get
He
wet.
wasn't even.
Now he looks like Mr. Atlas.
Mr. GQ.
Yeah.
Mr. GQ.
Austin. Can I text Austin? No.
All right. So didn't he had a stint in New Mexico
Yes.
and he's lived near Stuttgart.
I want to say I've seen a picture of him in his first turkey.
He was about 15 or 16.
Yeah, I'm going to go 16.
I was going to go a little younger than that.
I'll go 4. I'll go
What a-
15. I'll go 15.
Richie, Rob. What do y'all think?
Rob doesn't. He doesn't know Austin that well.
What'd you say?
I said 15.
What'd you say?
16.
I think it's a trick question. I think he killed one like in New Mexico when he was 8 or 9 or 10 or something. So I'm just going to go 10.
I'm gonna say I don't know. What'd you say? 14? I'll go 16. Did you say 16?
All right, who you want it to go to, Bobby?
I'll take it.
Sorry, Lanny.
That's all good.
I mean,
it's all good.
they sell them over in the store.
I'll get a 20% discount over there.
All right. So here's
For the assist a little while ago.
Well, how old was Austin?
Yeah.
Did Bobby get
15.
it right?
15.
15.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15. At least, I mean, that's what he said.
Yeah. Makes
Nah,
sense.
it could have been 20, or 25. I don't know. You can't trust him.
There you go.
This is
That
great.
thing even gobble.
I sure will.
Sound like a happy squirrel.
That'll match my frog yelp.
Yeah. Ball.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm the one with the frog yelp around here.
All right, let's reel it back in. I got a legitimate question.
I like us getting answered questions and getting prizes.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
I do too. That's awesome. So, thank you.
Although
thank
I
you,
did-
Woodhaven.
Yeah.
Although
thank y'all.
I did not get one right, but I did have an assist.
So I'd like to figure out, you guys, I think y'all know a lot about calls. Why is it? And is it, so like at the beginning of the season, 2 weeks prior to the season, I've got a couple of mouth calls and I'm like, I don't like the way this one sounds. And I lay it over there. But
called
then
pitching.
a month later, I go back and pick it up.
And
And
it sounds
all of a sudden,
better.
man, this one sounds pretty good. What has happened? What's going on?
They actually they'll seal solid all the way around. Do you keep yours in a refrigerator or anything?
I don't know. It's probably in my.
And the dashboard is where he keeps his.
He had it in his pocket when we got here.
I got mine in my pocket.
Yeah.
Swear I did.
And
Lanny keeps his in his hat, in the
yeah.
brim of his hat.
But it was slung out this morning.
I contest called
see that?
for years.
There it is, dog.
That's it.
Hey,
I like it.
you can actually run one and say that it's a little bit too loose.
Mm-hmm.
We'll lay it on your dash or lay it out here and let it dry up, and it's
Tighten
going
up.
to tighten up.
Mm-hmm.
It will tighten up. But if you want it to stay the same, like the sound you like, keep it in a refrigerator. I've got some calls that I run in the Grand National 4 years ago, and I would still take turkey hunting today.
There you go.
But keep them in the refrigerator. And I always keep a little toothpick underneath the top reed. Some guys will put it under all of them, but I'll just put one under the top reed. Just a little, I don't use the wooden toothpicks, the little plastic ones,
Yeah.
and just keep it under the top reed and just lick it when you pull it out. She's ready to go. I mean, you don't have to worry about your reed being stuck
Yeah.
in the morning.
No doubt about it.
So they do change
Run it.
over
Yes,
over
sir,
time.
they'll change.
I
Run
like
it.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Well,
Come
that
on.
sounds
That
really
purrs.
good. Yeah, that sounds really good. So some advice to it, guys: if you buy a couple of calls at the beginning of the year and there's one you don't like, don't give up on it.
No,
Right,
sir.
right.
Yeah.
And
Some of it's practice too, because you've run calls since then, right?
Mhm.
yeah.
So some of it's practice.
Every cut on a call takes different airflow, and you'll learn how to run your air down the middle of a call, or say if it's a combo cut where you got a gash out on the right side, you'll run your air through that cut on the right side or left side the same, or a ghost cut or a split V will be run right down the middle.
Yeah.
And but you can take a call and just put it in your mouth and just blow straight through, and it'll. And you can, if it starts when it breaks, you can go side to side with your mouth, and you can tell which side your air is running through on your mouth. Just the way it fits in everybody's palate. Everybody's different.
Now
I
say that
wish-
again. How do you do that again?
Can I just demonstrate?
Yeah, please.
That'd be the easiest way.
Here we go.
What call is this that you're running?
It's like a copperhead.
Like a copperhead, man.
Yeah,
It's probably
like a
It's not a copper because I'm
it's-
looking at it. It
it's
ain't
a-
a copperhead.
it's a
probably got
modded-
little
It's a
extra
model
long.
of a copperhead, but
Yeah.
I build my own.
Is it 3 reeds or 2 reeds?
3.
3.
You hear it break? Now if I move it over this side, it don't break. Down the middle. If you never yell and make that pop, you can just drop your jaw.
That's what I like right there.
And can you kiki on that call? Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. I'm gonna take him to the dummy line with me.
Boy, he sounds.
Oh man.
But I mean, calling is, of course, if you get an old turkey that's heard a lot of stuff, the more realism you have, of course, the better chance you have of him answering.
Mm-hmm.
But still, killing turkeys is your woodsmanship, your scouting, know which way they like to go. I mean, to me, calling's only like 20%
Yeah.
of
I
killing
agree.
turkeys. You got to be able to move around in the woods and not sound like an elephant,
Mhm.
and just, be part of the woods.
Yeah.
Just adapt to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody has said that. I mean, we've all experienced it.
No doubt about it.
Because we don't sound as good. This might surprise you, but the rest of these guys in here don't sound as good as you do on a
man,
call.
all y'all sound
But
good,
occasionally they
man.
kill a turkey.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. That's,
but it's about knowing the woods
Yes, sir.
and being smart about where to sit and when to
Yeah.
call, what and the cadence. There's just so many variables that
yes,
go
sir.
into it.
Yes, sir. Calling is just a small percentage of being a turkey killer.
But I think a guy ought to try to sound as good as he absolutely can.
Yes, sir.
And there's a confidence factor that
It's
comes
100% of confidence.
that comes with that.
Yeah.
So, like, how many mouth calls you think you bought in your life?
Yeah, I hate to know. Don't let my
Bobby probably not that many.
You don't know, you talk to the cheapest turkey hunter there is.
Well, yeah.
But he's been through a lot.
My point is figure out where your air is going, then start buying calls. That's what's helped me in the last few years more than anything is finally because I would, you see 10,000 different cuts and, they're like that. They're all, I'm going to be able to kill a turkey with it, and I sound like crap. But I finally, just sat down one day and said, I'm going to figure out what's going on and figure out where my air is at. And we cut calls and, I run on the left side. And then, I started figuring out, dialing into specific cuts. So, figure out where your air is at and then buy those cuts.
That's good advice.
I'm a V-cut man. No doubt about it.
You got a raspy call. Most people like the V's are
He's
raspy.
loud.
It's
I'm
a
loud
good
and I'm
call.
raspy.
And
I like to
we
sound like
earlier we was talking on locator calls. That V call he's talking about in the middle of the day, you go to popping it real loud with 3 or 4 good raspy yips. I mean,
Run
that's
it, dude.
hard to beat.
Run it.
That's
Can't
hard
get
to
it
beat.
unstuck. I know toothpicks in it. I actually slung it out on the floor earlier when I was throwing my hat at somebody trying to kill a fly or something.
Well, I tell you what, you guys, and I'm looking at Shon. You sound really good on all those calls.
Well, thank you, sir.
Rip, I don't know what you did other than drive.
That's it. That's what I do. Hey, you heard him. Would you call?
No, he's really good. Well, we've enjoyed getting to know Rip through the years. He's
Absolutely.
plants a lot of biologic, and Austin says a lot of nice things about you.
Yeah, it cost me money too.
Yeah. So, we got any other locator call questions? Anybody? I think that's about answered all mine.
That was a good
had.
one.
Yeah.
We got
It
some turkey research in there too. That's good.
really is. Guys, if y'all are listening to this, if there's a subject you want us to try to touch base with, we got a number. You can call 662-495-9264. Now, I'm opening myself up. There's no telling what somebody kind of message people. So you'll leave a message on the answer machine, and we'll get it. And if we, it's a good suggestion, we might do a podcast about it. But that number again, 662-495-9264. The podcast hotline.
Do you have a voicemail set up there?
We do.
All right.
We do. And it rings to Richie.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it comes right there.
He didn't have anything else to do.
No, he doesn't. All right. Anything else we need to do? Anybody we need to make sure do you guys have any loved ones you would like to say hello to before we get off the air here?
I just had a brand new granddaughter day before yesterday. That's my 4th grandbaby, and I hope there's 4 more coming in the future.
That's
They're
awesome.
awesome.
Get the horns on that one.
It's been an awesome spring. We've had a great spring turkey hunting and just spending time with the family and friends, and then when your grandbaby shows up at the end of turkey season, it's been a good spring.
Life is good.
Life
awesome.
is good.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Shon just glowing over there.
Oh,
He really is.
I can't wait to get home to see her tomorrow.
That's so cool.
How about that? Rip, how long you been turkey hunting?
About 30 years.
You remember your first turkey?
I do. I absolutely do.
Where was it?
Lauderdale County.
Could you believe that you were able to call him up? Did it just
Oh, I don't know
amaze
if I
you?
called him or if he just wandered in front of me. I don't know which one it was. Who was more surprised that it happened, me or him? But sure did. Didn't have a clue what I was doing.
Sure is fun.
Yeah, with a homemade box call from a guy there at the house.
Huh.
Makes it even
did.
better. You
Lot
still
of-
got that call?
No, it burned in the fire in 2019.
Oh, man.
Man.
Sure did. It and the turkey.
That's tough.
Wow. Well, we'll end on that note. Thank you guys for being
Yeah,
here.
appreciate
I know
y'all
you came a
coming.
long
Yes,
way.
Yeah, it's great when y'all are in the studio too.
And tell Mike thanks for letting you guys come down here and being a part. So,
He doesn't know we're here.
oh yeah, okay,
But thank y'all very much for having us.
I
yeah,
enjoyed it, my fellas.
yeah. Say goodbye, Dudley.
Goodbye, Dudley.
Get us out of here, Richie.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Gamekeeper Podcast. And be sure to tune in again. Subscribe to Gamekeeper Farming for Wildlife magazine, and don't miss the Mossy Oak Properties Fistful of Dirt podcast with my good buddy, Ronnie Cuz Strickland.